lose weight, but I love food. And I really fall into my cravings, I love food. I really want to lose weight. And I want to work out, but somehow every workout regime that I try just does not work out. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and Life Goes On by Tanvi. I am Tanvi and this is my YouTube channel and on my podcast, depending on what you're listening to, where you are. A very warm welcome to all of you. Well, I think I have sort of perfected my intro. I believe I have. No? I think I have. Okay, so today's episode is actually super special because in this episode I'm gonna share certain tips and tricks where you can create your own diet chart, your customized diet chart. You can find out the diet chart, the exercise regime that would suit you, that would fit you. That does not necessarily ask you to restrict everything and anything. That's not like one size fit all solution, but it's all customized to you, so it can include whatever food you want to include, you feel you should include. But I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to reach your healthiest version, okay? I will not say that how to lose weight or how to gain weight necessarily, but how to just reach your healthiest body, whatever it is and whatever we need. So human body naturally knows what it needs and when it needs. For example, when it feels hungry, what it needs to eat and where to find that food. But over the course of time, with the help of diet culture, media, and sort of these personas of how human body is supposed to look like, on what is the correct size, what is the correct BMI, what is the perfect weight, height, everything, what is the perfect calorie count for a day, what is the perfect food intake, what is the imperfect food intake. We sort of get stuck in this web and we are unable to know what diet to follow, which one to follow, what should be our perfect weight. Are we really not good enough? Can we really be good enough by following certain things, and how to really be healthy and okay with it? All these cultures and all this projection of diet and set standards and everything creates an unhealthy relationship with food. Where we love to eat, but we don't know whether we should eat or not. And when we eat, we sort of feel very guilty that why did I eat? And then either we would overexert and overexercise, or we would begin to starve ourselves. So it's like a huge imbalance of our relationship with food. And our relationship with food is one of the most essential relationships ever, right? Because we need food to survive, to live, to do our daily tasks in a healthy way. So if our relationship with that one thing that we need to survive and live a healthy life is unhealthy, then imagine how can we live a healthy mind, a healthy life, or have a healthy mind. So before I go on and talk about, firstly I'll introduce you to certain unhealthy behavioral patterns. I would just like to say that if in case you have been diagnosed officially with some eating disorder, whatever it is, I would really not ask you to replace this video with any kind of professional help. It's better to seek a professional, proper and personal guidance, is what I would like to say. Instead of following some set standard, I would really appreciate if you could just understand get a professional guidance, okay? But at the same time, use this video for knowledgeable purposes and see if it works for you as well. So an unhealthy relationship with food might look like what I just described in the beginning, over-exercising, starving, binge eating, or then feeling guilty about eating, or craving certain foods that are not good for you, eating even when you are completely full, or not eating even when you are starving, taking laxatives or other things in order to throw up or take that food out of your system so that you can compensate for the binging or the overeating that you just did. So these are all signs of an extremely unhealthy relationship with food. There are different kinds of eating disorders that I will not get in depth, especially not in this episode. So you can Google them. There's bulimia, there's anorexia, and there are a number of other eating disorders. For example, avoidant eating, restrictive eating, so other things. But before that, let's understand what creates an unhealthy relationship. So is diet culture really needed? So do we really need to follow these diets like keto and everything? So before again I go on and talk about the diet culture and its impact on our mental health, again I would like to say that if in case any set diet works for you, then it works for you, okay? You don't have to completely disregard something that is working for you. If it's making you feel healthy, if it's making you feel better, if it's making you, come out of a difficult stage in your life, if it improves your relationship with food, if it doesn't give you unnecessary cravings as well, so that's completely up to you to follow any kind of diet that you like to follow, okay? The aim of this episode is to only help you understand and heal your relationship with food. Now, the first thing that we need to understand is the fact that each one of us is extremely different, right? We all have different body structures, we all have different likes, dislikes, we all have different ancestors, we all have different genetics, so we have different developments, different conditions, climatic conditions, everything, different allergies, whatnot. Now, when we are so different from each other, why do we keep comparing ourselves, having set standards? Why do we think that the same diet that worked for your friend would work for you? So what usually happens is, for example, your friend might have been following some diet regime or some sort of a weight loss program, and then they come and they recommend the same thing to you. Now you go and take up the course, and then the course is exactly the same for you as well, but you are somehow unable to follow through, or you're unable to reap the benefits out of it. You're not able to reach or lose weight, okay? So I'll talk about the weight loss concept as well. So firstly, let's understand that there's this idea of having one size fit all solution is really very unrealistic, is more unrealistic than we can ever think, okay? When we are all so different, we should all have customized diets as per our own body's requirements. And who is better to tell us about what our body, our likes and dislikes and our body's needs are than our body itself? So, no random person can really ever tell you what you need for your own body and for your own spirit, for your own mind, okay? So now the second thing that we need to keep in mind is the weight loss concept. Why do you really need to lose weight? Now we might usually come up with the BMI thing, okay? That yes, this is the standard BMI and I want to reach this BMI. Good. But your reasons for weight loss should only be that I want to get healthy and not necessarily lose weight, okay? When your ambition is to only lose weight, then you will lose your ambition very soon, and then your ambition will not be focused on being fit and healthy as to what is the natural shape of your body, which might not be 36, 26, 36, okay? That's usually not the natural shape of most of our bodies. So with a decent amount of and decent workout and a proper, regular, healthy diet, with a little bit of, here and there, fulfilling our cravings as well. We all have a specific body type, which does not always mean that, it's all curvy or it's all obese. It is irrespective of what our weight is, of what the set standards are. Now, all these unhealthy relationships with food are sort of like a need to control, okay? Why we want to lose weight is because we sort of think that when we have a sense of control over what we eat, over how much we eat and the way we look, we will have a control over our mindsets. But that really rarely ever works, okay? Even if you lose a lot of weight, you would still feel depressed and stressed, and that is not how it would work ever. Even if you look even if you're the prettiest person in the room, you will still not be able to heal your mindset. So there are two care systems here, okay? The diet mentality sort of is from the West. That is called the illness care, whereas in the East, or especially in countries like in our country like India, we have access to a beautiful regime and field called Ayurveda. Now, what happens with the approach in the East, that is the illness care, is that, for example, you have stress, you eat, you binge eat, and hence you have illness. You have illness, you have stress. You have stress, you eat, then you have illness, then you have stress. So we only focus on the illness. We don't focus on why we are eating. When the root cause of binge eating, of unhealthy eating, of dieting, of over-exercising is stress, is psychological, but we completely disregard it and we think that a diet chart or just following certain external medications would actually cure our problems. But yes, like although it does cure it, it does help us lose weight, it does help us cure the illness, but it really does not help us taking the preventative care. That is, it does not kill the root cause. It does not work on the root cause, that is stress, that is your psychological problems, on why you are acting a certain way. Now, the first step that you have to do in order to create your diet chart is that you have to delete all your fitness trackers. You have to stop checking your weight. You have to let go of, whatever apps you have on phone which keeps a count, which keeps a calorie count, whatever it is. Whatever it is, just delete all of that. Now, what is the most demotivating factor is our expectations. We expect that, okay, I have been following a specific diet for 1 week, I should lose 2 kgs. So at the same time, we start our diets only to lose weight or only to keep a specific calorie count and not to again get fitter and healthier. So because again, we're not going to follow any set standards in this diet, I would really recommend that first step is to delete all these fitness trackers, stop checking your weight every day, and stop keeping a calorie count. That's the first step. Easy, right? So the second step that would be helpful is for you to create a hunger scale. Okay, so a hunger scale varies from 0 to 10. Okay, so 0 to 3 is when you are extremely hungry and when you're sort of starving yourself. And 7 to 10 is when you have sort of overfed yourself. You're supposed to feed your stomach from 4 to 6. Okay, this has to be your range of feeding yourself. So you'll have to ask yourself every single time, like, am I hungry? Am I really hungry, or am I just feeling or am I just eating out of habit? Am I just eating out of an impulse? Am I really hungry? Now, the third thing, because we have established in the beginning of this video that having an unhealthy relationship with food is sort of like gaining a sense of control, trying to gain a sense of control but failing at it, wanting a sense of control but failing at it, feeling guilty for failing, feeling ashamed for failing, okay? So again, we'll have to release control. Now, the third step in order to release control, just like the first step where we've deleted all the fitness trackers and all these apps, is that you have to give yourself permission to eat whatever you desire, whatever you would like to eat. So ask yourself what it is that you want to eat, okay? So you'll have to, before every meal or whatever, whenever it's the time to prepare, you have to ask yourself, what do I want to eat? Now, let's understand this from this perspective. Studies show that when children given a chance to make decisions and judge on what they would like to eat for themselves, they actually end up making much wiser and healthier food choices for themselves. So children are extremely connected to their own intuition and what their body is trying to tell them. Hence, a child is always able to recognize what a child's body needs. But of course, over these years, we sort of become very disconnected from our own bodies. Hence, we prefer paying a random stranger to tell us what is good for our bodies rather than listening to our own bodies. So the third step that you have to do is that you have to give yourself the freedom. You have to release control and you have to give yourself the freedom to eat whatever you want to eat. Now, in this fourth step, you'll have to create a chart for yourselves, okay? So you have deleted all the fitness trackers, you've given yourself permission to eat whatever you want to eat. And also you have a hunger scale to measure how much, how satisfied, or how much you filled your tummy, okay? So in this chart, what we're going to do is you're going to write down the food item. You're going to write down the emotion that you felt after you ate that. Then the next step is, or the next stage is the physical symptom. And after that is the hunger scale, like how satisfied and on your hunger level were you after you ate it. But make sure that you create this diet chart, or you fill this chart up the very next day and not immediately, or at least leave the emotions part for the next day, and don't leave it and don't fill it right away, because some physical symptoms might arise after a few days. For example, gas or something, like whatever you couldn't whatever these physical symptoms, they might arise a few hours later. Hence, it's better to create a chart of for today, the next day. For example, today is 4th March, I would be creating a chart for the 3rd of March. Now, what happens immediately after we fall into our cravings? For example, you might have been craving pizza. So you ate that pizza. Now, immediately you will feel a level of satisfaction that, yes, finally, I'm overstuffed. Your hunger is like 10. So you've overstuffed yourself with a pizza. Now your emotion is satisfaction. Okay, although you might feel a little gassy, but at the same time, your emotion is satisfaction. Now the next day, the emotion usually goes like it sort of starts tripping on this emotional scale. From satisfaction, you begin to judge your satisfaction, that am I really satisfied? Did I really do the right thing? Oh my God, did I really make a huge mistake? Am I impacting my health? That goes on to guilt, and from guilt it goes on to shame, that, oh, why am I so stupid? Why do I always do this? Why am I so silly? Why am I so this and why am I so that? From shame it goes on to anger. I can never do anything. I am stupid. I am this and that. All self-deprecating talks, all of these are very negative behaviors. All of these are extremely, extremely harmful behaviors. And this is exactly why most of us are unable to reach our healthy body weights, are unable to have a healthy lifestyle, and are unable to have a healthy relationship with food. Whereas your aim should be that from satisfaction, you should go towards the right. So from satisfaction, you should feel fulfilled, that, wow, I ate this amazing pizza yesterday. Wow, it was delicious. So instead of judging yourself, you stop judging yourself and you feel yourself and you start feeling fulfilled with what you ate. After you are fulfilled with what you ate yesterday, even the next day, you are happy. Oh my God, yeah, I know it was a boring day, but I had this delicious pizza to eat yesterday. It was so nice. I'm just so happy. After happiness comes bliss. Okay, so now the problem with most of us is that we define our satisfactions and happiness very incorrectly. We think that gaining a lot of pleasure is happiness, whereas happiness is peace. Okay, so making peace with food is much more important than feeling more pleasurable with food. At the same time, feeling pleasurable or feeling pleasure while you're eating and wanting to eat something that you really crave is also not a bad thing. But feeling guilty for eating something that you wanted to eat is definitely very, very harmful to you. So this chart will help you understand how you react and go in the left direction, go towards the direction, towards the left side. And whereas your aim should be that next time you eat a pizza, at least you should reach blissful stage, right? And if over time you are unable to reach this blissful stage with any food item, it's about time that you stop. Either you reduce the quantity or you sort of restrict whatever you are not doing. Okay, so you sort of ask yourselves, why am I not feeling bliss? Why do I not reach bliss? Why do I again reach either the judgment stage or shame or guilt stage every single time I eat a pizza? Should I not give myself the permission to eat pizza once in a while? Is it because I'm eating pizza too often? Is it because I'm eating pizza even when I know that it gives me physical problems? It gives me certain health issues that are sort of unavoidable and are harming and are giving me permanent damage? Or is it because I don't know, I don't think that I love myself enough that even though I look fine and I don't need to lose weight, and I know that eating a pizza once in a blue moon would not help me would not like make me gain weight, but at the same time I don't think that I deserve to eat a pizza. Like, I did not work hard enough in my life that I would deserve to enjoy a pizza. So these are certain mindsets that you would have to work on yourselves to help yourself reach the state of bliss after you finish every single meal. Now, the fifth step is that you need to keep a check on yourselves. So again, you maintain this chart and again keep asking yourselves about why do you not feel satisfied, or why do you not remain at least in the state of satisfaction after you've had a specific meal, even a day after. Like, why do you immediately feel guilty? Why the next day you want to overcompensate? And why do you feel this innate sense of guilt and shame inside of you? Why can you not just be happy with the fact that you ate pizza yesterday? Now, the sixth step is where you begin to eliminate and accept certain food items. For example, you know that you ate a pizza, you felt a little guilty after eating a pizza, but now you can reduce the quantity of pizza. Like, maybe you were eating too much pizza, or maybe given your physical symptoms, given your emotional symptoms, for a while it's better for you to not eat pizza at all, or maybe eat pizza after a long time. Okay, so then that comes your personal diet chart on how you want to customize your own diet plans. This will really help you gain more trust on yourselves. Most of us, we trust an external person and we're ready to give tons and tons of money to a person with a diet plan whose diet plan we're not even sure would even work, but we would still rather go to a stranger than to listen to our own body. So again, I repeat, learn how to train your own bodies and how to trust yourself again. Now, the other thing that you would have to do is that you would have to, in general, every morning after you wake up, you should stand in front of a mirror and tell yourselves that you are beautiful. When was the last time that you appreciated your body for the way it looked instead of criticizing yourselves? This is really the inner critic that you need to gain sort of like some sort of a control over, not like in like the controlling way that we spoke about in the initial stages, which begins to develop an unhealthy relationship with food. Not that kind of a control, but like just build a relationship, a good bonding with yourself. Tell yourself that you appreciate yourself. Tell yourself that you are fine the way you are. Most of us are obese, so if in case you have weight disorders or body image issues, it's definitely due to lack of self-love. When we don't love ourselves enough, either we begin to overfeed ourselves or we begin to starve ourselves because we think that we're not good the way we are, and hence we have to achieve a specific goal. And that race to achieve a specific goal or inability to achieve a specific goal impacts our mental health. It impacts our mental health, it impacts our physical health impacts our mental health. So we are stuck in this chain, and what we are trying to do here is to break free from this chain. Now, while you are eating whatever you're eating, while you're doing whatever you're doing, you have to keep two things in your mind, which is the mindful aspect of this entire diet program, which says that firstly, you have to pray before and after every meal. So what happens with a prayer is that, for example, you pray for gratitude, that thank you God for this food. When you understand that prayer is what? You're speaking certain things, that I am thankful for the food that I am eating. You understand that this thing that is there in front of you is something that you're very grateful for. That means that it is not something that everybody has the privilege to. If you are eating a pizza, there are people around in the world, across the world, who probably do not even have one meal to eat in a single day. And people are dying out of starvation. Hence, we must be grateful for any kind of food that is there on our plates. This would help us not be overly critical of whatever we eat. It's like whatever we get to eat. So you would really appreciate everybody's cooking, all the food that you have access to. At the same time, this would also help you avoid feeling shame or guilt for eating something that is so precious that you've gotten because you're so lucky and privileged. So hence praying before and after a meal is super important during this diet. The next step is that you have to do mindful eating. That means that you do not have to eat while watching TV, while I don't know, watching a movie or doing like watching a series that you've already seen a million number of times. Whenever you're eating, eat on a table with pray and eat the food, like with honor. Eat it, whatever it is. I don't care what you're eating, but eat it with complete attention. It has to be like sort of meditation. Your entire attention has to be on food. Why? Because what would happen is that, when we are just eating popcorn, when we are watching a movie, usually what happens is that our minds are in autopilot mode. We don't really realize if our body is really in need. Do we really need to eat? Or are we just eating out of habit? Are we just munching something because we just feel like it? Or are we really doing it because we like to do it? Is it something that we want to do it? Or is it really a need? So in order to have a proper diet chart, it's important for you to follow mindful eating, where certain things are okay. For example, talking to your loved ones, family that eats together stays together. Always remember that. So you can talk to your loved ones while you're eating, talk to somebody on call, but please avoid watching something on television, because then your attention will be everywhere, and human mind is not accustomed to multitasking. Naturally, human minds are good at only focusing on one task at a time. Now the ninth step that you will have to do is to accept any kind of movement. This could be dancing, this could be walk in the park, this could be, I don't know, literally going up and down the stairs. Accept any movement. Does not have to be rigorous gymming, does not have to be a lot of aerobics, yoga, anything. Like, it can be everything and anything. Start small is something that's my suggestion, and take it as a marathon and not a sprint. You don't have to immediately start big and then burn out. Instead, I would say take one day at a time and start very small and slowly increase your movement or whatever you like. Like maybe you can start with walking for 10 minutes a day. Now you increase it to 15 minutes the next day, or the next week you increase it to 20 minutes the week after that, and so on. So now we have a diet chart and we have a movement of our choice that we like, okay? So now the next thing comes, like most of us, we have a question that, okay, but then what if I'm not able to sustain this habit? Now, what exactly is a habit? A habit is a behavior that we keep on doing over time, and that sort of becomes an automatic nature, a second nature to us, okay? So it would be nice to have good habits, correct? So there's one thing called a habit loop, where you have a trigger. The trigger has a behavior, the behavior has a reward. So we will focus on positive reinforcement here. For example, the trigger is the smell of donuts. You smell donuts, oh wow. Your behavior is either you eat it or you don't eat it. Now, when you eat it or you don't eat it, you have a reward. Whether the reward could be, okay, fine, at least I gave myself the permission to eat something today and I'm very proud of myself, depending on whatever your situation is. Or you gave yourself the permission to maybe not eat it today because this is not something that you needed, right? So it's completely fine to not eat it, but at the same time set a reward. Of course, the reward should not be another donut. So please avoid making the reward as some sort of a food item. Instead, replace it with maybe, I don't know, watching a movie, purchasing that bag that you've always wanted to purchase, purchasing the pair of shoes that you always wanted to, whatever, something tangible, something that you can reward yourself with. So with the help of this video, I hope that, I don't know if this video was of any help. Please, I would also like to say that don't forget to be kind to yourselves. You're learning new habits, and habits take time. Usually healing an unhealthy relationship with food takes around 2 years of time. So don't be scared. You'll be there. That doesn't mean that you'll have to wait the entire 2 years to see the results, but you will definitely see the results very immediately, but you'll have to stay patient with yourselves. So yes, so that's all that I have for you today. I hope that this was helpful in some way, and please do let me know. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and yes, and life goes on. Take care. Bye bye.